Call this work session to order time. Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams, Lynn, Bowman, Baker, Lynch, Escaday, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Epperson. We have a quorum, Mr. President.
Commissioner Smith will sign the invocation, and Commissioner Lynn will lead us in the pledge, please.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today, thanking you for the nation we live in, Father, and the freedom that you've allowed us to have, Father. Help us always to remember, Father, that these are things that you give us and that you supply to us. Help us to use our positions for the betterment of our mankind. Lord, is your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Everyone, please face the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance along with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It lives on.
Okay, next item, Mr. Clerk.
Agenda additions.
I see no agenda additions. We'll go to,
Next, we move to citizen comments. Citizens who wish to address the commission must fill out a comment card and forward to Parish President or Commission Clerk.
I have no cards.
No.
Okay,
We have no visitors. Move to reports, administration report.
President Dominic, good afternoon, Commissioners. Good to see you all today. We have a few things. First of all, we have a tentative schedule for our annual legislative luncheon. It's going to be February the 14th.
I have
Such a special day. We're going to...
Yeah, I have dates that day. I may have more than one luncheon then.
Mr. Lee finally come in from China.
Well, let's keep hope alive. Okay, anyway.
Keep that open.
Well, you know, annually we meet with all the legislators before they go off the session and give them our priorities. So that was a convenient day that trying to find the best day possible. So we thought that day would...
No, Stephanie ain't gonna like it.
She ain't got a date. Well, what's going to be in... Huh?
That's what you move.
Going to be at the Petroleum Club at 11:45. We tried it at night before and didn't have much of a turnout at night. So anyway, the next thing is I'm passing you all out a handout which talks about state lobbying efforts. I've had comments with several commissioners that talked about lobbying. And as you all know, Mr. Grubb used to lobby for us. He's no longer here. And I think he was working with Ms. Lindy Broderick a little bit at the chamber of getting information that was daily as to how bills were going through the House. So now we need to find out what's the pleasure of this board as it relates to doing future lobbying efforts. So we need to get some directions from you all on that. Also, we passed out a worksheet for you all to list whatever priorities you have legislative-wise that you would like to have addressed at this coming up session. So if you can fill out your worksheet, we'll collect those and get them to the right committee. And then also, I have for you a revised listing of the proposed projects. The project listed I'm giving you went through several meetings of the Special Project Committee meetings. And what I did was I took off all the projects with $5,000 or $10,000 projects, took all those off, and just left the ones that were substantial in funding. So I know we will have future discussion relative to those projects. That's not really written in concrete. Those things can change, but we identify our most pressing and urgent needs to you on that list.
is that for the bond issue?
Yes, sir. Yeah, those proposed projects, so subject to change, because we have emergencies that come in that pre-exempt those things on the list. Okay? The last item I have for you, I'm providing you a copy of the travel report for the fourth quarter of 2013. And I'm also providing you a monthly income expense financial statement. I used to give it to you quarterly. We used to email it to you all. I understand some people didn't get it. So now we'll be handing you the hard copy of the monthly financial statement for the parish finances. Okay, that's all I have, and I will entertain any questions you may have if you have any at all for me.
Okay, I'll just say a couple things before we get too far. I have talked to Commissioner Thibodeau. Those 3 issues that you have talked about are going to go to the Special Projects Committee. I'm asking that, number 1, they review the issues concerning the legislative priorities that each and every commissioner have. So the little form that you just received from Dr. Wilson, I'd ask that you fill it out and give it to Commissioner Thibodeau, or at least someone that's on that committee. And if you wish to have some input, it'd probably be good to go to the committee meeting concerning whatever priorities that you feel that is something that we need to address as a commission body to our state legislators. Number 2, I'm also asking that committee to look at the issue concerning the lobbyists due to the fact that Charles Grubb is no longer with us, and how we need to proceed as a commission body on whether or not we need to hire a lobbyist or use someone in-house, or what other options that the committee would feel viable. And then, of course, the 3rd option would be if this bond renewal is placed on the ballot, we'll have to vote on that Thursday, we would ask that committee also to look at those specific projects and place those in our priority listing too. Right. So hopefully that answers some of the questions that were brought up by Dr. Wilson. At this time, I'm going to move forward with the ones who wish to speak.
You answered my question.
Okay. Commissioner Lynn's question has been asked. Commissioner Johnson?
Yes, one question I had was on the lobbying. I know that Charles Grubb did it in the past, and did he not do that as duties of the parish attorney?
Yes, there was additional duties for him, but he also worked in concert with Ms. Roderick from the chamber, because she was there every day. And as you all know, the laws change hourly sometime. So we need to have some eyes and ears down there to kind of give us some inputs as to what's changing. Because most of the time, Attorney Grubb jumped in his car and drove down there the next day if there was something going to be in committee that we need to testify on. So at least we'll have to put that mechanism back in place to some way, have a connection that's daily, letting us know what's going on. And we do work through Mr. Roland Dortez too, but Mr. Dortez focuses on a little bit different than ours, because it's always been the direction of this board. Anything that adversely affects your ability to legislate, you want to know about it. So therein lies the dilemma of not having someone down there.
And we used Joe Rose early on too, Woody.
Yeah, years ago, we had a person, Commissioner Johnson, that we paid hourly, Ms. Joe Rose. But back in 2010, we decided to discontinue her service and take a different approach. Commission funded the chamber in 2010 for $230,000. They provided that service for us. We discontinued funding, and they still provided some service for us relative to keeping track of some things for us. But right now, we need to get another approach to know how we're going to do business and kind of go from there with it.
Okay. Then on the bond issue, on some of the line items you had, what was the total of the money that you come up with? Special project?
18 million?
Right at 19 million. the
So
total
there's still
project.
some room for commissioners input.
There's always commission.
Okay. That's all. That's the answer I really want to hear. Thank you. Okay.
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Wilson, I'd like to announce to everyone that, Mr. Wilson, that we was talking about the bond proposal, and you informed all of us that that you will be making that presentation today. But as I think about this bond proposal, I also think about that's going to be millions and millions of dollars spent on bond projects, and each urban commissioner are asked to ask our constituents to participate in the voting to pass these bond issues. However, when it comes to the contract for professional service, for procurement, for construction contracts, and oftentimes they're left out the equation when it comes to getting a return on their vote or their investment. We have a program in place called the Economic Inclusion Initiative, which Commissioner Escudé and I was here then. We passed it. We had a 25% goal. However, that was almost 20 years ago. we have to get in line with the 21st century and keep pace with other counties and cities throughout America who has a progressive economic inclusion initiative, which include minorities, Latinos, and Indian, Caribbean, and Asian Americans. I feel like our economic development plan, inclusion initiative, is outdated and antique, and it needs to be renewed. So I'm hoping that this is what I would like you to do for me, in the effort to try to make sure that minorities are included in the construction, purchasing, and professional service of this parish. There are other counties across America I call, have a progressive program, and I feel like the economic wealth and the disparity in providing opportunity, equalizing opportunities for people of color, minorities have not been done well in the South. We need to do a better job to ensure that those that come to County, Caddo, or Shreveport, that they have an opportunity to be successful. But I look at the people in our community as customers. They are customers. We provide a service for them, and everybody needs to get a return on their investment. So what I'd like for you to do and your administration to do is reach out to other counties and cities and see what type of minority and women-owned business enterprise program they have, along with emerging businesses, and also how veterans can do business with the parish as well. And see what their small business are doing to engage and include those veterans that sometimes come home from war. All they come home to is a parade and balloons and no job and no opportunity. I think America needs to do a better job, and our local city need to do a better job to make sure that our women have an opportunity to participate in the procurement and contract and construction contracts here in the parish. And then African Americans who have been left out for so long. I noticed that it's Black History Week and Black History Month. We all get excited and we shall overcome. And when I look at what's going on in our community and our nation, it looks like we're turning back the clocks of time. We need to be moving forward. Our people are still poor, they're unemployed, they don't have opportunities, but we got more black power, African American power in Shreveport that's ever been, but we ain't making no progress. It's going to have to be done through economics. And poverty is killing our community. People want an opportunity to work. Most people I talk to in contracts say, Commissioner, we don't have no compliance program to see if the program actually works. There's no compliance in our programs. And you have to have a compliant officer in place to ensure that women and minorities and people that's been disenfranchised and haven't had the opportunity to engage in contracting with this parish. I know a lot of our work is civil engineering, and I know those are a lot of things that may be out of spectrum, but we need to get people qualified, pre-qualified, certified. Subcontract need to be pre-certified. We have to move and get with the pace with the rest of the country and move forward. We're not the same South we used to be. I like to see those things done, and I'll be looking forward to working with you on that. Hope that we can engage and work together, this body. We got some very competent business people up here, and we all say we all for one and one for all. We have some serious projects coming down the pipe, and we need everybody to be inclusive to vote for them. But when you ask people to vote for them, ask to give something back in return. Don't just take, and don't give back. So I'd like to see a more diversified approach in trying to be inclusive, ensuring that people have an opportunity to engage in the process. And I believe we can start that, and hope we can get some wheels on it, and then hopefully we can address that as soon as possible.
Okay.
I got one more. Second.
Time's getting up. Time's up. Wrap it up, please. Go ahead.
All right, Judge.
All right.
Don't get too far ahead yourself.
Go ahead, buddy.
But anyway, also, Miss Mary Landry's executive assistant from Washington would be in town. I asked you to reach out to her regarding the Youth Promise Act to find out the status, if they're going to be any funding this year to fund some of the projects that we deal with on a day-to-day basis concerning our juveniles. I asked Clay and yourself to be present. She haven't called me back on the play location, but it's tomorrow at 6:30. I'll get that before you leave. They also may be looking at adopting Swag Nation as a national model for mentoring programs in America at a federal level. So that says a lot about
the investment we made here locally is paying off because we took some serious commitment to try to help young people with a very problem with sagging of the pants, but also there are the other issues going on with our young people. They're dealing with social issues. So I just want to thank those that supported that back then. I hope that there'll be some exciting news tomorrow when we meet with them regarding the Youth Promise Act, and hopefully the Swag Nation program will become a national model for America. I just want to say thanks to everyone who supported.
Commissioner Epperson
I pass, sir.
and Commissioner Escaday.
I just have a couple of questions and comments for the state lobbyist. I'm not sure if we actually need a full-time lobbyist, as full-time is specified. The legislature is not in session 12 months out of the year, yet we're just going to give somebody a flat fee. I prefer that I would like to explore the opportunities that if we do need a lobbyist, that it's on a hourly basis per work done, rather than, because you don't know what the workload is here. Sometimes Mr. Grubb went down there frequently, sometimes he didn't. I don't know that we have any major issues this year. All this is online. You can see what bills have been pre-filed. You can look it up every day to see what committees have recommended, and we can see if we have a problem. And I know that, like last year, several commissioners, Commissioner Epperson went down and helped rescue some legislation that was in jeopardy, and it's been a concerted effort. I just don't know why we need to pay somebody the flat fee just straight out there with no specified workload to be delivered at this time. I'm just not sure that the need is there. Secondly, if we did agree with this, it seems like you've already decided who it should be. I have a question. Did you talk to anybody else other than Southern Strategies?
Yes, I considered those others available. Of course, the other person that Bozier used, I'm going to go there on that. She was the only other one I know locally, and they have used, as I said, the chamber before Ms. Broderick's service. Those are the only ones that I know of here locally. But Commissioner, yesterday, I mean,
I don't understand why they have to be local. I mean, let's face it, we like to keep everything local, but the best lobbyists don't live in Shreveport. So if we're going to spend the money, all I'm saying is you get the best hitter you can. It's kind of like going in the baseball or football draft. You got number one pick, you're not going to take the 10th person. So anyway, that's just an observation. I also believe that the city uses the same firm. Yeah. Okay. There's another thing that concerns me. Okay. Because sometimes the city and the parish are not necessarily on the same page as far as the same issue, and there's definitely a conflict. And the agent, and Ms. Pierre, I know her very well, respect her, is also a mayor's appointee, a couple of boards. I mean, who's going to control this? I mean, it's just down to a loyalty thing. So I think, one, we need to establish the fact of whether we need the services and to what extent we need them, and whether or not, if we do determine we need them, it would be better on a per fee basis, per hourly basis, rather than this flat fee.
And we used to do that.
And then, as we know, in Washington, most of the time we go to Washington, we're probably our best behalf. We go to gather the support of our representatives. We're not going to lobby senators and congressmen from other states on our behalf. That's not what we do, and I don't really think that's what they do. We go to keep our relationship intact with our representatives here and work with them closely, and as you know, as any of them, we pick up the phone and call them, and there's very little federal legislation that we have the need to fight or to take a position on that they're voting on federally that comes down here. We're usually going with a specific ask, be it water resources, help with the General Motors facility and all, and then when it gets down to those kind of things, we're our best advocates, because unlike a lobbyist you may hire, everyone here represents about 30,000 constituents, and that's got a whole lot more meaning than just somebody paid to make the phone call. So anyway, I just think we ought to think about this long and hard before we do it, and maybe there's another approach if the need is there to be clarified. Thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
Speaking
Oh,
on the
excuse me,
lobby.
you've already spoke, come back.
On the lobby, about the lobby.
Okay, we'll come back to you in a minute, Commissioner Bowman, and then we'll come back to Commissioner Williams. Commissioner Bowman?
Okay, yes, sir. I just wanted to announce about tomorrow, Affordable Healthcare Enrollment Day. I know you all have a flyer. Commissioner Johnson and I are allowing people to come up and sign up. It's a follow-up to what people have done and what we did last week in reference to allowing people to get information. So now they have the opportunity to meet with navigators to actually sign up, or even just ask questions, or they may not even want to. They may want to keep their own plan or whatever, but at least they'll just have the option of discussing with the professionals of what may work for them. And it's free 9 to 5 tomorrow. And
You done?
yes, sir. Well, I want to piggyback on what Commissioner Escudé said.
But you don't have a job.
I think Ms. Marquis Pierre would be a great lobbyist, but I also
I'll pay his premium.
do think that we can
$800.
find someone or do something else, continue to research. I'm still concerned about us getting some money for our economic development, something, but that's a different.
Well, I would just simply ask you, like I said earlier, that we'll go to the committee. Commissioner Thibodeau will make sure you look at all the issues that have been brought up today, especially not only, should we have a lobbyist? Who should we hire if we do? Should it be in-house? Should it be outside? And how should this person be paid? Hourly, flat fee, etc. I know that's a big task that the project committee will have, but I'll just have to help you do it. Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to echo and add my few comments regarding the lobbyists. I think it's an excellent idea that we use local people for local projects. There are times that the city and we are engaged together. If there ever been a time that we need to be on one accord together on projects that help Northwest Louisiana and Caddo and Shreveport, it should be now. With a stagnated economy, with no growth, it seemed like one thing we should do is learn to work together and lead together so we can build a better and a brighter future for our children and our young people, and young professionals, so they come back to Shreveport and stay. So I would say that back in the old days, you can send a pigeon down the lobby. People don't lobby by just text or email. People like you to engage and be in their face a lot, and shaking hands and sitting down and talking about specific projects. That's nothing new under the sun. That's something going on for years, even before I came. So I like your progressiveness in going out trying to make sure that our priorities are being met with someone who has despicable record of integrity and also getting things done, getting things passed. I think that Mr. Grubb did an excellent job, but he's not here. So we all ain't gonna be here one day and somebody will have to take our place. These jobs are not permanent, they're temporary. So while we're here, we need to make the best. While the Lord has gave us the time to do something, we need to do it now. And why should we wait? So I beg to differ somewhat in the direction we're going. I do feel that we do need to have more down there in the face of our state representatives and legislators speaking on our behalf in their face for our interests. And if it's good for Caddo, it's got to be good for Shreveport and Northwest Louisiana. So we need to stop saying that. We need to get off of that trend and start a new journey for Caddo and Shreveport. Let's all get on one accord and reason together. And let's start working together and making this a great city of America, not just the South. Thank you.
Commissioner Thibodeau?
Yeah, I've got a couple of tentative dates that we can meet if there's nothing else scheduled.
We're going to change.
On February the 6th, which is Thursday, at 2 o'clock, could have our first meeting for talk about lobbying, and also at that time to turn in your legislative priorities, because there will be the meeting on the 14th, so we need to get those priorities turned in pretty soon. Then on February the 18th, which is on a Tuesday, I think the Monday before that is a holiday, so February the 18th, Tuesday at noon, have our capital projects for the purpose of the bond. That could be our first meeting. And as long as I'm throwing dates out there, February the 3rd, which would be our next work session at 1:30,
We'll have alcohol hearings, and we have 9 cases. So we'll start meeting at 1:30.
The last date again? The last date again for the alcohol?
February 3rd, which is our next work session on Monday at 1:30. So if those dates, and if all those dates clear with Todd, then we'll send an email to verify the dates.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Thibodeau.
I just have
There you go. Commissioner Cox?
Mine's real short and sweet. Is there any way we can get copies of the violations before we get here to that meeting for
Yes.
the alcohol?
Yes, sir. I'll send them to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Juvenile Justice Committee have some unfinished business in appointing the youth planning board. If it's possible, I would like to meet Thursday before the meeting around about 2:30.
We have an economic development committee meeting at 1:30 that day.
Right afterwards.
What's a good time? We're all on the committee. What time you like to meet? We need to wrap that up. in terms of-
No, come on, the Juvenile Justice Committee, who's all on that, Todd? Do you know?
I know, Lynn and,
I think I'm on it. It seems like, I know Lindora's on it. I think Gerald's on it, Matthew Lynn's on it, and I think
can
Stephanie.
I get the census? When would y'all like to meet? We need to finish, wrap that up.
Oh. What, who set the economic development? Me or John?
John, I asked, let's back up, and, because we're getting out of
Yeah.
place, okay? Let's address this issue first, and I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I want to find out,
Okay.
get the consensus.
Commissioner Lynn may have something to add in on that. I'll let him speak at this time.
I serve on that committee, and ultimately, what the state, this is a state set-up board that we are legally obligated to have in place for the parish. And every single aspect of that board is represented as far as like the sheriff's department, juvenile, the school system. And so it's not so much the name that's on there, it's all those departments and all those governmental agencies. And then whether, I hate to do this to you, Todd and Michelle, but whether Todd, Michelle, Karen, Donna, somebody finds out whoever's in charge of all those organizations, and you put their names on it, and they're obligated, they're on it, and if they can't do it, then they just have somebody fill in the place, and so there's really not a need to have a meeting for it, because there's only one way to do it.
Can I inject this? I asked Clay to assist us, navigate us through the process in regards to, at our last meeting in December, we said we wanted to meet the first year of the month to discuss the youth planning board appointments. So I'm just catching up from what we discussed. If the minute will reflect, we said we want to meet the second or first meeting of this month to discuss reappointment, because some of those are just deadbeat names, missing in action, and not even showing up engaging and really concerned about our youth. I want people that are really genuinely concerned and passionate about you serving on that board, and I think Clay have a better.
Clay, can you come up, please?
Clay is here, have a better feel on who he thinks should be on the board.
Clay, can you give us just give us a brief update, please, to tell us kind of what, in your opinion, we need to do to get this board going, because it has been going on for quite some time. It's one of those that we just keep seeing and seeing and seeing. So,
Commissioner Lynn is correct that the statute lays out the positions. So the school system superintendent is one of the positions. One would be a juvenile judge representative. There are several different positions. You have to reach out to those folks, find out if they're interested. There's probably 5 out of the 25 that have some that are not chosen like that. It'll be a pediatric, representative. So you could pick a pediatrician. It could be it could be anybody in town. And so there's some where you have some authority to choose that. What I would do is reach out to the obvious, like Dr. Gorey, school superintendent, reach out to the judges to see who they'd want to appoint. I'd talk to those ahead of time, but then the others, frankly, are up to you all in terms of which direction you want it to go.
Chairman, I would like to discuss it.
Okay,
if
well,
possible.
let's call a meeting, hopefully after the meeting Thursday to look over that briefly. Hopefully it won't take too long, so we can just do that Thursday after the meeting, okay?
Okay, I think if we were to have some, a kind of a guide on what position or state statute and what, or community or you know what I'm saying, or faith.
I'll have a list of everyone I think is appropriate to fit the
Could you
statute.
email that to us? You have our email?
I do. I can get that to
Email
you.
it to us so we can look at it, then we can come back and make some intelligent decisions at that time.
Sounds great.
Okay.
To answer Ms. Baker's question, the Economic Development Committee meeting was called because I was contacted by Walmart again, and I also had emailed LBJ and asked Todd to get with John to set up a meeting for the issue concerning Walmart. That's what that's going to be about, the road out there.
So what time is your meeting?
His meeting will be after our meeting at 3:30.
To discuss the youth planning board, Todd, for the record.
After the regular session.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Baker, do you have anything else?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next we go to communiques and committee reports.
Do we have anything on that? I think we pretty much covered all that. Commissioner Baker?
Yes, sir. Town hall meeting today at 5:30 in precinct 38. I think some of the directors are coming. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson?
Have a affordable healthcare meeting at the North Shreveport Libraries from 6 to 7
When's that, tonight?
tonight. Yeah.
All right, anything else? No other names on the board? Next item? Next item?
Next item, President's report.
I will ask that be moved to Thursday, but I will say this, just ask that everybody be mindful that with regards to our citizens' comments, our bylaws, they do state we're really not supposed to be asking questions of individuals who come up here and make citizens' comments. It's really supposed to be citizen comments. If you have someone who needs to address the commission and we need to ask them questions, please do your best to try to contact the clerk or put those items as an agenda item as a guest, okay?
All right.
So we can actually have a visitor, but not as public comment.
That's what you're supposed to do, yeah. I mean, the way it's set up is if you're going to ask somebody questions, they need to be listed down as a visitor. And I'm not.
Say, Mr. Chairman, we're going to start following our bylaws until we change them and amend them.
Hopefully we can.
Good.
And I'm not saying that, please, I don't want anybody to take this wrong. I'm just telling you that is one issue that I've seen that would like to kind of get some hold on. So anyway, so I've just simply asked if you're going to have someone come up here and we need to ask questions, we probably need to put them in as a visitor, please. Next item.
There is no old business. We move to new business. Conduct zoning case appeal BAP 214. Property located at 1286 Pine Island Road, 600 feet southwest of North Lakeshore Drive. Anthony and Diane Henry applicants. Billy and Gloria Clayton, Kimberly Dazat, and Mark Davis appellants.
Move to advance.
It's been a motion by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Escudé to move this to Thursday. I see no discussion. If we can vote as soon as our wonderful machine is ready. And it is ready. Bill? Commissioner Thibodeau? I believe that passes. 11-0. Next item.
Zoning case P 1913 regards to ordinance number 5379 of 2014, amending chapter 51 of the Code of Ordinances of the Parish of Caddo by amending the zoning of property on the east side of Louisiana Highway 1, 950 feet north of Doug Attaway Drive, Caddo Parish, from RA Agriculture to I-1.
Second.
Moved.
Okay, I got a motion by Commissioner Escudé, seconded by Commissioner Cox to move this matter to Thursday. I see no discussion. Please vote at this time. That passes. Next item.
Zoning case P114 regarding ordinance number 5380 of 2014, amending chapter 51 of Code of Ordinances, amending the zoning of property located on the north side of North Market, located 1,700 feet southeast of Old Marchport Road, from RA Residential Agriculture to B3 Community Business District.
Move to advance.
Have a motion by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Escaday to move this to Thursday. Y'all vote, please. Next item, let's see, that passes. Next item, clerk.
Authorize introduction of ordinance number 5381 of 2014, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator or designee to sell.
Second. Have a motion by Commissioner Johnson, second by Commissioner Lynn. I see no discussion.
We have a detailed description, that's on here though.
It will be on the, it should be on the attached on the ordinance.
Like that.
Click on the blue.
You can vote at this time. And that passes.
Authorize resolution number 3 of 2013, ordering and calling a special election to be held in Caddo Parish to authorize the incurring of debt and issuance of bonds therein and making application to the State Bond Commission in connection therewith and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion by, who made the motion? Commissioner Escaday, second by Commissioner Cox to move this matter to Thursday. I see no discussion. We can vote at this time. That passes.
Authorize resolution number 4 of 2013, holding an election in Caddo Parish Fire District number 6 on May 3rd.
Have a motion by Commissioner Smith, second by Commissioner Lynn to move this matter to Thursday. See no discussion, and we can vote at this time. That passes.
Discuss matters relative to the status of vacant MPC Executive Director's position.
Commissioner Epperson.
Mr. President, I think we had passed a resolution relative to I think a couple of people to the MPC board to kind of, see what's going on. Am I correct?
I think, I don't know exactly what our minutes said, but I think that, Todd, can you help me refresh our last meeting?
Resolution number 1, asking them to, let me see if I can pull it up a little bit.
Okay. Commissioner Lynn, you say you can address that?
Either Commissioner Escaday or I should be able to address that. And it is requesting that the MPC appoint 2 people on the search finding committee to find the replacement for Mr. Kirkland. The City Council put the same thing, which passed on their agenda as well. And ultimately, just like with the Unified Development Code, once it goes to committee, then the committee makes a recommendation to the MPC board, and it's ultimately the MPC board that does do the final vote. However, we're asking for input from both the commission and the city council is asking it from the city, since we are their 2 principal funding bodies, and since everything that goes before the MPC can and has the ability of coming to before these 2 bodies as the appellant.
Okay. So we'll have two.
No,
we'll
they
have
have
2
not
appointments?
voted on that
I know,
yet.
but that's the intent is for us to have 2 appointments. Commission to have 2 appointments, correct?
And
the
the
city.
MPC has 3 just to sit on the body to help find the right person for the job, because that's such an important position in Caddo Parish that we feel that we're obligated to our constituents to make sure that the person chosen for that job is the person that can serve our community the best.
What you're saying, the commission, the intent is for the commission to have 2 appointments on that
Yes.
body to, and the city of Shreveport will have 2.
Yes.
And the FPC will have 3.
Yes.
That will
Select.
peruse and select the MPC director.
To recommend to the MPC board who to select. The MPC board is technically legally the only entity that can do the final vote on it.
You and Ken.
Okay, Commissioner Epperson, do you have anything else?
Well,
I know you had a lot.
I wanted to
questions,
was, I'd like for 2 representatives to, from the commission to be on it, but I would like for them to have a voice in the selection. I mean, when they come down and we fund them and, and they looking for increases.
Hang on, please.
But,
Don't raise your hand. You can press a button if you need to
there
talk.
you go.
Commissioner Epperson has the floor.
If it's legal, whatever the legal technicality, but under any circumstances, I would like for 2 people to be appointed
to the MPC board to help in selection and criteria for the new
Can I
MPC
speak to
director.
this, please? I know a lot more about it.
Okay, Commissioner Escudero.
That's what the city council and this body has requested of the MPC by state statute, right here, and I've got it all, that allows for the forming and creation of the MPC. Once the city and the parish formed it and named its board, other than our fiduciary responsibility in the hearing of appeals and the recommending and appointing of board members, we, by state law, don't have a say in their hiring policies. So our ordinance, our resolution requested that we would want to have a say by having 2 members. They will meet, I believe, this week at their next regular meeting and take that matter up and decide. But statutorily, we have no recourse. We can't demand them to do anything or let us have any part of the process. We're simply requesting. Of course, I expect that to be honored, and hopefully it will. But we'll just have to see what happens.
Well, that's fine. Well, I'm just recommending that whatever the legal responsibilities and criteria is, that I would like for us to recommend 2 people today to be advanced the Thursday's agenda in the event of whatever the circumstances are.
I'd like to make a...
I can't make a motion.
That's a president.
Everybody could be, and everybody raised their hand.
Hang on, we got other Commissioner Bowman?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Since you brought that up, I would like to make a motion now if we can. Since we need 2 persons to be on there, I would like to recommend Commissioner John Escudero and Commissioner Epperson.
I second.
I decline.
Represent.
I decline. Respectfully, would you appoint Commissioner Lynn in my place? Because he's very, we serve on the master plan committee, so nobody knows more about it than I do.
Well, we're amending
Hang on 1 second. Hang on, please.
Okay.
Please, you need to press your buttons if you want to speak. Ms. Frazier, are we getting out of order, actually?
Yes, you can't take that action until your Thursday meeting.
Well, we know.
Well, let me
This is to advance.
Okay.
Motion and second to recommend for Thursday's meeting.
So are you
Advance to
doing
Thursday.
an agenda addition?
Yeah, because it's really not on the agenda, it's only to discuss, so do we need to make a motion to expand our agenda for the appointment issue?
Yes.
Point of information,
Okay,
please.
sure.
Point of information.
Everybody wanna be
I'm of the
moved.
opinion this is a chair's appointment, so I don't know why this body needs to take any action anyway. We've
Yes,
already
it is.
decided.
Well, recommendation.
So, we recommend, but I think the chair can assign these like any other committee appointments or any other special committee appointments.
It is, appears to be in our bylaws so that way, so,
I think he will. Just saying, we don't need to.
we'll take it under advisement. It looks like it's the chairman's choice on who those 2 will be. So I will look at those and take the appropriate action in the near future on that, okay? Our next, Commissioner,
I didn't understand.
it's the chairman's, my decision on who the 2 would be appointed. If Commissioner Lynn, our parliamentarian, if you wish to read our bylaws.
According to the
They went to
Caddo
school
Parish
on us.
bylaws, Article 1, Rule 2, first line, the president shall possess the following powers and perform the following duties. Code F, he shall assign all members of the Caddo Parish Commission to their respective committees and chairmanships. So it's his obligation to do it.
We did good. We got a good
Commissioner Lynn, I'm sorry.
That's it.
Commissioner Lynn, do you have anything else?
No, that was.
Commissioner Williams, do you have anything?
I think you pretty much took things under control by saying that you have you shall, based on what the bylaws said, appoint to this body. So there's no need to even have a motion on the floor.
Commissioner Escudero?
I concur with Mr. Williams.
Say what?
You know that happens sometimes.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Discuss matters relative to the official minutes of committee meetings.
Commissioner Epperson.
Okay, I've always had a problem with our committees meeting and having minutes. and the minutes not being brought back to the official board. And of course, this is for discussion, but I would hope that we would possibly look at amending our bylaws, that any official committee meeting that's held, once the minutes are transcribed, that they will be brought back to the body, and maybe find an appropriate spot on our agenda, say maybe with approval of the
Regular
of the minutes of a committee meeting. Well, just a case in point today, we had a meeting today where some people saying they thought they said this and they thought they said that. When we bring something back, we need to have those official minutes in the official meeting, whereas the full body can, some person that may not have been present at the committee meeting, where you have the transcription of what happened within that particular meeting in writing, and therefore it shouldn't leave any room for doubt as to what the wishes of that particular committee were. And I've seen some minutes that have come out, and then there have been some errors in them. And who knows, at some point in time, we may have to use those official minutes in legal proceedings, and I think that this board should take actions to properly adopt and receive minutes of the committee meeting in our official meetings. That's all I'm thinking about. So we can look at that maybe as a discussion on the personnel policies and procedure committee.
Todd, are our minutes, committee minutes, are they put on their website right now? Or?
Yes. Our committee minutes are, once they're transcribed, put on the website, yes.
We'll look at that, Commissioner Epps, for you. Okay, next item.
I guess you're gonna overlook me.
Consent agenda?
That's all right.
Oh, consent agenda.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Williams?
No, I mean, you pretty much.
Okay. And our next item?
Consent agenda.
Okay, our consent agenda. We move to Thursday. We have nothing further. We have a motion to adjourn.
Got one from Baker. Motion.
Okay, we're adjourned.
Hey, man.
Oh, we got it. I couldn't read.